work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, scheming, or trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, then I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good morning, and good morning times 3 for the people who aren't here, which is my co-host, Ben and Bubba. But I'm here. It is good morning once again. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. You're here with your girl, the host, the one that's on the marquee, Rebecca Azor. All right, we're on Saturday. We're running late, right? Because we're doing our last day at the corporate trap, right? If you guys haven't heard, Rebecca Azor is free. Not by choice, but we are out of work and we're looking for it. We're looking for it, but we're still here, right? And so with that being said, that's the only reason why I'm late today. We're making sure that last check that comes in, coming in, and we're making sure that for unemployment, when that, comes in, whenever it comes in, it's going to come in. But God is good, right? Can we say God is good? Say it in the chat. God is good. All the time. Okay. I think I got it. So, what's going on? What's happening with you guys? Look, I don't know who to check in with. David is in the background, and I'll check in with you guys. My morning check-in looks like working this morning, getting ready to just zen out for a little bit. My birthday is in a few days. It's actually on Wednesday, so it's on this upcoming Wednesday. I will be celebrating my birthday. Guys, y'all been rolling with me since I turned 30. And guess how old I'm turning now? Actually, some of y'all know me since I was 26. Okay, doing Like It or Not. So, but guess how old I am turning now? I'm turning 34, guys. I'm turning 34 years old. And for my birthday this year, I think, a lot of circumstances have happened. But even in this particular moment now, how I'm looking at it where it's like, hey, this is an opportunity for you to invest in yourself. Even though don't know how, but we're going to do it. Invest in yourself, have more time, create more content, put it out there, do what you need to do the way you always wanted to do it. The show that I keep naming and y'all keep looking for. And I say it's going to be out. I can put more into that. I can put more into Like It or Not. I can put more into doing my features on Olay and Friends, on the show where I'm also a host at over at Leftist Mafia, coming on time. all the time. Sometimes you got to look at things, and sometimes you're removed from things. I'm gonna preach this morning. Sometimes you're removed from things, forcibly, just so that you can have time to do the thing that you really wanted to do. How are things going to come together financially? Not sure, but I am certain that there is a purpose for how things go down, and my story, the tell all. The corporate tell-all will be out. It will be out. And that will be a special episode. We will talk about the wins, the whys, even though my camera is leaning to the left, y'all. We're going to talk about the wins and the whys when that time comes. And but other than that, that's my check-in. I'm trying to make sure I stay afloat. And I think that, I'm just looking at it more so at a place of being able to have more time to do what I really want to do. And so keep it locked right here. If you haven't already, please head over to my personal page, Rebecca Azor, where we're streaming right now, actually. And like, share, follow, subscribe. I think I'm only 80 away from hitting the 3,000 mark, because you guys are doing a great job by, subscribing. So let's go ahead and do that for my birthday. I want to hit 3,000. And that's just like I'm 80 away from that. So if you're following right now, please, please make sure you subscribe to my personal page, because that's where you'll be seeing what Rebecca is doing in the meantime and how we're growing. And if you want to contribute, right? If you want to contribute for my birthday, I would love, for you guys to head over to my Cash App, because when you give it to the what is it called? When you give it to the live, right? Whatever they're called. What are they called, David? Because I'm old right now. When you give it to the live, I don't get it for until a month. But if you do give it to the live, that's still great. I will get it. But for my birthday, I would love for you guys to just make sure I get to 3,000, right, on the page. And then, super chat. I'm talking about super chats. When you give it to super chats, I may not get it until like a month later, which is fine, because I appreciate your support. So if you would like to give a birthday blessing, send it to the Cash App. It'll help me in this time, as well as we are pushing through unemployment. But Becca's Voice on Cash App, Becca's Voice on Cash App. In the meantime, I'm checking in with y'all, right? It's a couple of things I've been seeing. I really don't know exactly what's in the news, but I know what's been trending. And that has been, I'm going to go there. I'm going there. That has been the beefs. Yeah, they've been cooking it up. Okay, it's been the beefs. And my skin looks good. I'm just going to say that. I'm sorry. I just had to stop. I looked over. I was like, sheesh. I didn't even really do much. My skin is just giving skin. But it's been the beefs, right? One thing my skin is going to do is beef, right, with people, because that's what is causing stress for me. I can't beef with people because it causes stress and makes the skin look crazy. But people right now are just beefing. Throughout the year, we've seen a lot of beefs in hip hop, in music industry, even with people who are just singers and songwriters. Now we're seeing the beef leak over into the sports world. I mean, we usually see that with competitiveness, right? But now we're seeing hosts of sports shows, commentators, analysts, Shaq, and Shay. They're going back and forth. Shannon Sharp. Shaq and Shannon Sharp are going back and forth to the point where what called for it for Shaq to drop a diss record? What called for Shaq to drop a diss record against Shannon Sharp? This is all stemming from the most popular one that we've been going after and breaking down for weeks. Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Right? And if y'all want to get more of my thoughts on that, Olay and Friends. Head over to Olay and Friends. I was on that, and I think she's dropping another one on Sunday. But with Kendrick Lamar and with Drake, their beef has, I think, propelled so many other people to feel like they must beef as well. But Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Kendrick recently, or the latest in Kendrick's drop, the last one was They Not Like Us, which actually touches on, you guys, what Olay and I and friends on Olay and Friends talked about, a deeper issue with the Drake feud and what we were trying to highlight. It's not that Drake isn't the best artist or the greatest artist or however. Drake is an amazing artist, right? We think Drake is great. He's dropped lots of bops. He's dropped lots of things that we can put captions on our Instagrams and social medias to. He's the great background music, the ambient music for our stories or whatever. This is Drake. However, what we were trying to actually talk about, or what we did discuss on the first drop of Olay and Friends, the beef between Drake and Kendrick, was that Drake, and I want y'all to follow me. Stay close, because I know it might be offensive what I'm going to say, but stay with me. Drake functions in whiteness in the industry. Whiteness doesn't have to be a person being white. Police officers who are Black function in whiteness. Systemic, right? Follow me. Drake functions in that. He gets away from the culture. He can say that he doesn't, one of the people on the panel, shouts out to Tahoe, one of the people on the panel were trying to give the argument, which I don't, we can agree to disagree on that Drake suffers with identity issues because he wasn't accepted here being Black and he wasn't accepted here being white. And then, but it brings me to J. Cole, who took himself out of the group chat, right? J. Cole too is biracial and identifies as Black. Do any of us see an issue with J. Cole presenting as himself? No, because J. Cole is genuinely who he is. The excuse cannot be that Drake, should get a pass for, just being a culture vulture because he doesn't really know where to fit in at 30 something and 40. Are we still using that excuse in life? No. And I say that to say, Drake is problematic for the culture in that way, where he goes wherever and wears those coats of the culture that he's coming from. And nobody ever really knew who Drake actually was, especially, is he from Toronto? When he finally started claiming Toronto, it was like, do we even care anymore? Because we thought he was from Atlanta. We thought we thought he was from Texas. I mean, sheesh. Like, was he Jamaican? Does he have any Afro background in him? African background in him? It was just him picking up, going somewhere, wearing all of these cultures and just moving on for free and being able to say what he wanted, being able to fight with or pick at who he wanted to, but not that he had to. But we've never seen Drake actually say anything that was like, hey, this Black issue. Not that he had to be Kendrick Lamar. He never had to. But we're saying when it comes to the culture of hip hop, be who you are. We have people who are biracial. We got people who are light, bright, who look almost white. And it's okay, but identify as Black and can be who they are. We have the best of the best, the people who can rap bar for bar. But when you are becoming a problem within the culture will not have to sit down and identify these things that are problematic. And my problem with Drake is that. And in Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us, it broke that down specifically. And it was funny, he didn't drop They Not Like Us yet when we were discussing that. And we're saying that the problem is whiteness. Why is it more so of a problem? And can you grab that for us, David, where the DJ Vlad? Why is it more of a problem? People like DJ Vlad represent Drake's audience. I'll tell you why. DJ Vlad, his name is not DJ Vlad, Vlad TV. I don't know why I keep wanting to make him a DJ, but Vlad TV, as we know, is the guy who, and y'all will know when I say this, Vlad is the guy who interviews Boosie. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who curates these problematic conversations with, so to speak, problematic artists in hip hop, and push out these negative and terrible takes from these artists. And as a white man, he heads that. These are the same thing as I view people functioning in whiteness. The ones that are the head of these pages, like All Hip Hop and whatever the things that put hip hop drama out in the worst fashion, in the worst way. And the people who own those pages are all white people. See what I'm saying? Functioning in whiteness. So always viewing Black people as problematic, wearing their coats, but never really having something to say on the other side of it when things are popping off. And Vlad TV is one of them. But I'm mentioning Vlad because he went onto Twitter and tweeted, and if you can find that, it's a tweet from Vlad, who he tweeted a professor at at Princeton, okay? A professor at Princeton, because he tweeted out and said, "They Not Like Us" by Kendrick Lamar. It was basically mid, something of the sort. And which we all know is a lie because I was stepping in the name of hate. Step this way, step that way. Everybody say, "Oh, we ho." Everybody, we all were stepping in the name of hate. But I say this to say, which is not a good thing or a bad thing, but I say this to say, he tweeted out, it was mid. And a professor from Princeton, I believe that works in hip hop history at the school. I want to say that, but it's a Black professor, said to him, retweeted or quote tweeted and said, "Hey, you shouldn't be in this conversation. You shouldn't be." Google it, David. You might could find it there. But said you shouldn't be in this conversation. Vlad TV and the Princeton professor. But you shouldn't be in this conversation because this is for a conversation between Black people. Specifically to Vlad, she's saying that because you're a guy who will take this and make it problematic on purpose. The eyes, especially because you're a white man, the eyes that you have are going to come over here and think that they can say what you're saying, take what you're saying as Bible, and push that out there. And we're talking about, it'd be like white folks all up in it, saying what they want to say. You know what he did in reply back to this lady? Basically, I think Princeton would love to hear about you saying this to me. Is it because I'm white I can't say anything in it? She basically said that. But he's like, "Oh, is that how you speak to your students at Princeton?" Knowing that she's saying, "Is that how you speak to the majority white students?" Because we know that Princeton is a PWI, predominantly white institution. So we know what he's saying here. "Oh, is that how you talk to those mostly white kids like that? As a Black woman, a Black professor?" And we know Princeton is white and I'm white. So basically it's in my benefit. And he said to her that he will call Princeton. He tagged them and he said he would call them. And he said, "I'm sure they would love to know how you speak to people." That's that equivalent to what Lance even mentioned this. And I said this myself. It's an equivalent to, can I talk to your manager? When white folks don't get their way, when they feel threatened, when they feel like entitled, and when they're checked by the community that is telling the community that's not in question to hush, they literally say, "I want to speak to your manager right now. And I want to let them know how I felt threatened by you because you didn't let me say that." I didn't get to say the hard ER. I didn't get to touch your hair. And that made me feel away. And so now I'm going to get you fired from your bread and butter. Now I'm going to get you removed because I felt uncomfortable with you for not including me to the barbecue, the cookout, okay? The after church event. I felt offended that you didn't allow me to jump into this conversation about Black hair. I hate that. And so now I'm going to talk to your manager about it. That's what it 100% gave. He ended up apologizing. Wait, he actually doubled down on it the next day. And then he ended up saying that he didn't speak to the manager, which was Princeton's higher up for the professor. He went back and her name is Morgan Jenkins. Jerkins, it looks like. Let me make sure I get that right. Yep, Morgan Jerkins. Professor Morgan Jerkins. He ended up saying that, I'm reading it right now. But he ended up saying that he didn't go to them. He changed his mind. Then the next day he said, after sitting with myself, I just thought that what I did was wrong. I can now say that what I did was wrong. In hindsight, after 4 days, in hindsight, what I did was wrong. It was incorrect. Yeah, that's what she was telling you the first time. This is not your conversation, but because she said just that, you went for her bread and butter, her job. The real reason why I believe that she told you that, because she knows when you curate these type of conversations, you create more of a beef. You create more of something that becomes a man who was putting destruction, and he don't even look like us in the conversation. Not even a piece, not even a drip, not even a drop. Never knew that man was white until one day the camera turned around. And I said, not this man being white, curating Black conversations. Because let's be for real. That's really where the problem to me with Drake's audience lies. People who identify with him with being white and things like that, they feel like they can flood these comment sections and say things and do things. And Drake wouldn't be the one to stand up and say, hey, I present as white. Like I identify as Black. And as a Black man, y'all got to calm down with these racist takes. And you got to be careful with saying the hard ER or these kind of things. But we don't see that from Drake. The Black struggle that they tried to provide for Drake in conversation was, he's been working hard. He can't identify with this side. He can't identify with that side. So because he can't identify with all these sides, man, and everybody else struggles and everybody else suffers. And Drake is a child star. Should we forget? Did y'all forget? He's from Degrassi. Did y'all forget? Drake is from Degrassi. And he knows fame. And it hasn't been that hard for him. And yeah, as it's sad, but as Kendrick said, he's not a colleague, but he does things like when he goes and wears people's cultures and stuff, he's colonizing. It was deep. But that's how when I say people, you could be Black and functioning in whiteness, right? And the spirit of colonizing can come over you too. Action. And so my take is, if y'all already know, is that Kendrick had a point, but it's deeper than just what we're seeing online. I don't think that there would be we'll never probably know what the ins and outs of it, the actual conversations of it are, but I feel like this is over. Jumping over fences to go to Drake's house. That's what we're seeing now in the news. People are trespassing his Toronto home. And the one that actually Kendrick Lamar used as a picture at his home to discuss allegations of him associating himself with pedophiles. But him having his home since this beef and since that song, Drake's home has been allegedly terrorized, or people are trespassing at his Toronto mansion. And also, I think a security guard was shot. And so here we are with that news coming after the drop of Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us and The Heart 6. I don't want it to get to that type of level. We can keep it in the booth. If we can keep it there, fine. We don't want any Tupacs and Biggies. We don't want to see what happened to all these different artists that we know throughout this last year alone. Who was it? The Takeoff in November. It's been a year now. I believe we got to a year because it felt like it was just yesterday. And these type of things, I don't want to see happen with the beefs in hip hop, where people are being gunned down because of words or whatever. And it may be deeper than what we know, because we haven't seen Kendrick Lamar come out of the woodworks. A man could drop one song every 10 years if he wanted to, one album every 20 years if he wanted to. But I don't want it to get more into a place where different camps are shooting each other down, or like with Nipsey Hussle. I don't want me to get to where people are hating on you and pulling up on you, and now you're murdered. Pop Smoke being murdered for people watching and hating on him and those kind of things. Or I don't like to see that in hip hop. I hope it can just stay in the booth how it has been. And then the girls are trying to go at it. JT and Sukiyana. I remember Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion coming out with another track of a few months ago. She actually just dropped recently. Nicki Minaj and I think it was the girl Lotto, who actually looks up to Nicki Minaj. All of these people, it's just like the feuding is getting a little bit too much. Do we want unity? I think, you know what? Who used to rap about that? My good sis. my good sis, Queen Latifah. She said, UNITY, like that. But she, rapped about that, but also had her beef and dropped a diss track. And I'm trying to remember to who it was, but she also dropped a diss track in her day. But, I know it can't always be peace and kumbaya. Do I like when they going into the booth and going bar for bar and killing them and killing them verbiage. I think that is nice. But when it gets serious, like when they're threatening homes and P. Diddy getting mad over his ex wanting to be with somebody else or dating somebody else, was it Kid Cudi, and threatening to blow up his home. And Kid Cudi, this is documented. Kid Cudi said that his whole car blew up one day looking outside. So we don't want things to get this bad. We don't want things to get this tragic. We don't want things to get this scary. But I will say the rapping portion of it, sending people into the booth, making them use their pen, really getting creative to get their thoughts out, that's the artistry of it all. Kendrick, I believe, won because of the artistry of it all. They call him Mr. Morale. He moves in a way where it's just flowing, right? And you could grab the clip, right, David, so people can hear just a little bit of it and hear the bop because it's we can play it on here. He made it so that we can play it everywhere without getting a hit, and it's number one in the on iTunes, and I think all throughout streaming, it's number one. But I'll say yes, not like us. But I'll say with that, Mr. Morale is what they call Kendrick Lamar, and how he moves is usually in a flow that is, a little deep. They say he won, 1 second away from giving Hotep vibes. But when he dropped that beat on They Not Like Us, spoke deeply, and it's called Not Like Us, but spoke deeply and but did it on a track where you can twerk to. Okay, where you could just, you know what I'm saying? And then when the heart dropped, Drake wanted to go the Morale way and give it that smooth, kind of like how Kendrick usually does. And it didn't work for him. But what it did work for, Mr. Morale can go ahead and drop a bop and still give us the words, still spit some truth, still spit some fire, and that's good to go. Now, what I would say is every place has its place. And this place was specifically, I think, for Kendrick. It wasn't for Kendrick to be seen or heard. I don't think he cared for that. I believe that he just had a message specifically going towards Drake. Drake was you looking for, I think, to be seen, heard, and accepted in this moment. And I think that's where he needs to take a step back, find out who he is, and then get back to us, because I think he makes really great music. But let's hear Not Like Us.
Hey, monster on the beat, ho, depot, any rap nigga, he a freak though, man down, call her Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro, Nella nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walking down whole time, I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs and party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 that fuck him up. Wop, 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 I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
We're like really seeing that part. That's making me uncomfortable a little bit. But there's more to it where he just drops about, the people. He just named all of his crew that have, that may or may not be pedophiles, may have records in that way, friends who are on drugs, and all of the above. And then he goes into how the culture vulture and how all of the people that he was working with here in the city, like 2 Chainz, Future, the 2 young ones, what's his name? I forget their names. There's 2 ones like Young, Lil, but the Lils, and how they all, basically he comes here when he don't feel like he's getting accepted in the Black community at the time. He'll come and work with these artists, but he was naming all of those artists and how, here specifically in Atlanta, white folks would come here and then they would take during the time, I think he was talking about the Jim Crow era or something like that here, and how, what that meant. And basically that's what he said, people, coming and taking our culture, using us, doing those things. And then basically calling him not a colleague with them anymore, but a colonizer. And that's when that whole comment came into play. But yeah, 21 Savage, look, because I found, 21. That's what I was trying to get in my head. But 21 Savage is one of them. But all those different artists from Atlanta were just examples of what he wanted to, let's just say, like, you use them the same way that white folks use Black folks. And then when you're done with them, that's all. That's it. We don't see, hear nothing about that. You use it for your benefit. Have artists, we can say it on the other side, have artists use Drake to their benefit as well? We can ask that question. And I would say yes. Anywho, Kendrick won that battle, and that's just where I'm at with it. Kendrick won that battle. We can say a lot of things about it. We can separate a lot of things about it. We can chop it up and have this discourse here and this discourse here and that one and that one and that one. But just look how I dropped all those T's amongst this beef with the whole issue with DJ Vlad, with the whole identity crisis, with the colonization in the way of with people functioning in whiteness in the industry. Drake wanted to use his power to diminish Kendrick, and it just didn't work that way. I think when you are authentic to who you are and you're true to yourself and you know who you are and you're confident in yourself, I think that will always trump not knowing who you are and having these weak spaces and those things. But anywho, what else we got? I think I'm just, I didn't want to stay before you long. I know that you gotta go. David. So I was just here to chat with y'all real quick. So that was it. I guess the show was going to be about the Drake breakdown. If y'all want to know what's coming up next, definitely stay tuned. I believe it's dropping on Sunday. Part 2 of the breakdown with Olay and friends when it comes to this conversation in hip hop. What I do also want to let y'all know is if you are still here, and I know you just hit stuck with us for like a 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm on break. So if you are still here, that means that you liked it. You loved it. Share it, like, and subscribe. Be on the lookout for what's going to come next on Rebecca Azor's channel. It's going to be more of me since I am now free, right? Free, but still need the coin. And if you guys want to contribute to the freeness and the movement continuing on my page with the show dropping Shades of Good News, which is going to be a show that literally talks about good news within the Black community, because for Black people, we are not just bad news. We are not a monolith. And so our story shouldn't be either. So we're going to have that coming up as well. My birthday is coming up. I'm turning 34 in just a few days here. And if you want to support, please go ahead to my page and subscribe. Get the number up to 3,000. We're looking for 3,000 subscribers by my birthday on Wednesday, May 15th. Also, please make sure if you want to give, you can definitely give your girl a birthday blessing in the Cash App, Becca's Voice. It's BECCAS VOICE. Becca's Voice. If you don't have Cash App and you want to do PayPal, it is RebeccaAzor@gmail.com on PayPal. RebeccaAzor@gmail.com on PayPal. Also, I got my guy with me. Whenever I need him, he's here. I ain't gonna lie. My white friend, David, who's my producer, he definitely stays with me whenever I need him. He holds it down. And so for David, y'all, if y'all want to go ahead and bless his pockets for producing with us today, DKG87 on Cash App. For the meantime, in between time, I love you guys so much. I probably won't be here next week to celebrate my birthday with y'all. I'll probably take the day off, but celebrate with me, please. Cash App, Becca's Voice, May 15th. Send your girl $34 for turning 34. And it's going to be Haitian Flag Week. Hey, we celebrating the Haitian flag. We celebrating Haitian culture. So I love you guys. Mean it. And when I do come back, we're going to have a little party. I feel like maybe it'll be a nice praise report. Don't know. Maybe it might be. We're looking forward to it. Make sure you're going to have an amazing day. I love you. And I mean, mwah. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye. Work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.